Welcome to Discover La Jolla, where we showcase the jewel of San Diego, and that's La Jolla, California. I'm excited and honored to have Gabby Turner in the studio with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Cool, awesome. Gabby, you're the owner of Cove Wellness,
Correct?
located right in the heart of the village on Ivanhoe.
Yes.
So, Cove Wellness has been a therapeutic, holistic approach to health in La Jolla for like 30 years as an operating business. But you recently purchased the business, is that correct?
Correct.
So, how long have you owned Cove Wellness?
I have owned it since January of this year. So
Okay.
I'm a new business owner. It's a new game for me. I'm very blessed to have been able to become an owner of such a special place.
It is a special place and it's been
It
around
has
for
been
decades.
around for decades, like you mentioned, and I feel like in a world where things change so constantly, for a business having been able to stay
Right.
with the same treatments mainly
Mm-hmm.
around, it's very priceless. And my goal is to continue its legacy for sure.
Good.
I want to continue to improve what we've been doing, which we helped so much people. Um, we have clients, locals, same as a lot of people from out of California.
Mm-hmm.
So tourists and everybody, every time they walk in, they're very impressed for what we have to show them, because what we do at Cove Wellness is also a lot of education,
Okay.
you know,
About holistic health
about holistic
and how
health,
to prevent.
how to prevent, because something that is very overlooked is our lymphatic system.
Okay.
Not much people know about it, and I think when we put that out there, they're just shocked about like the wonders it can do for your health.
Okay.
The lymphatic system is our drainage and cleanup crew.
Okay.
So after your cells do their job, they throw up fluids, proteins, waste, toxins, and your lymphatic system is the one that is in charge of going around your body and collecting all that. And then once it's collected by the lymphatic system, it is transported to your lymph nodes.
Okay.
And the lymph nodes are the ones that are in charge of getting rid of all the viruses, the bacteria, the cancer cells,
So
and
you got to get it all out.
you got to get it
You
all
got to
out.
drain it.
You got to drain it. And our therapists are focused on that.
Got it. Okay.
We do a conjunction of series of treatments where they work all together.
Okay.
So we can talk that in a
So when
little
people
bit.
come into Cove Wellness, it's a very beautiful setting. It's kind of like going to a spa.
Correct.
I would, it's very tranquil.
Correct.
You have the music, you have the little bubbling water, right? And the good lighting.
Yes.
So they can come in and choose from a variety of services to help them.
Correct.
One of them is lymphatic drainage. Tell me about some of the other services you do in conjunction with this lymphatic drainage.
So we have three types of lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
So we have manual lymphatic drainage, that is more focused on people that are post-surgery,
Okay.
because the electro-lymphatic therapy and the lymphatic Medi-Cupping therapy, they are a little bit more aggressive, I would say, for people that are just very new into it after a surgery, right? So with electrolymphatic therapy, what we do is we use a lymph purify machine,
Okay.
which it's a machine that helps stimulate the lymphatic flow in the body, creating like some tiny muscle contractions.
All right.
The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the heart.
So you
So
gotta,
it's not like the circulatory system. It has to be worked on by exercise, by breathing, by movement, and by manual treatments.
so are most people's lymphatic systems blocked?
Yes,
Okay. So when you unblock them, just for our viewers to understand and for
correct.
me to understand, where is it actually draining? What's draining? Where is it going? Like is it going out your feet into like
It goes
some
to
water tub?
it
Is
drains
it
to your primary detox pathways, which is your liver,
okay?
your kidneys,
Okay.
and your colon.
Okay.
So then from there, it can be basically out of your body. So it has to go out, right?
Got it.
It can't stay inside because then it's when you get sick,
Mm.
you get bloated,
Right.
you get puffiness, you get illnesses. So it has to go out. So once it's drained from the lymph nodes, where I mentioned prior that it gets rid of the bacteria, it goes back into the bloodstream, and then it goes to your colon, which is one of your primary detox pathways, and then it gets eliminated. So that's why we also do one of our therapies that is called colon hydrotherapy.
Like a colonoscopy, not a colonoscopy. It's colon cleansing.
It's colon cleansing, correct?
Okay. And so how do people feel after they've had blockage like this and they have a lymphatic drainage occur?
They feel relief.
Okay.
They feel a lot of relief.
What are the physical
A lot of
changes?
people come in feel saying that they have been experiencing bloatness, puffiness, and they just feel that they need a change, right? So they come in and we explain them like the anatomy of the body, how things work. We kind of try to explain them first how, like I was explaining to you, like how the system works. And they feel great. I mean, everybody's different, but they come in with heaviness, right? Like feeling kind of like a little bit, I'm about to get sick, right?
Yeah.
So once we do these therapies, they can really feel a difference. A lot of people have to go directly to the restroom, and then they can like get rid of toxins. So I feel like it's a major change for them, kind of like learning how these therapies combined, they can be so excellent for their health.
Can people come in and get like one session and they're good, or is it normally multiple sessions?
It's recommended for them to be consistent,
Okay.
mostly if they're going through some major illness or they're trying to really improve their health. Like I mentioned, these therapies are preventative therapies, so sometimes it's easier to prevent something
By maintaining
it
a schedule.
than before it's too late, right?
Okay.
So we do offer like packages, and multi-session,
Got it.
for clients where they want to come and be consistent with their treatments. So we do have that to offer to them. So that way,
What else can people come into your center and do? What
we
other
also
sort of-
have the Brazilian Body Sculpting, which is
Okay.
more towards like an aesthetic massage.
Okay.
So people, we combine lymphatic with that treatment, but we also use wood therapy. And my therapist, she's originally from Brazil, so she has a lot of technique.
Got it.
She's awesome. And we also do the infrared jade sauna, which that one is a private treatment. We have a sauna room
Got it.
where
Okay.
we have an infrared jade sauna, which is shaped like a bed,
Okay.
so you lay down like you're laying in your bed, and it's kind of like a capsule sauna. And that helps with circulation, with inflammation.
Right.
It has jade stones, so it has like acupressure benefits as well. So when you're laying in jade stones.
I've never heard of jade
Yeah.
stone
It's
sauna.
jade stones keep the heat longer.
Are they green like jade?
They're green like jade. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Now
They're
we're on
green
the
like jade.
now we're on
And
the-
it has red light. And red light, a lot of people know about red light nowadays.
Correct.
It's great for skin, for scar tissue, for for the lymphatic system as well. So
What about like maybe I'm mistaken, but didn't Cove Wellness used to have like almost a heavy metal treatment detoxification where your feet would go in like this water? Is that something you guys still do?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What's that called?
It's called it was called foot bath.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, we do not have that treatment any longer.
Okay.
But I did heard about it. So basically, people will come and they will get a foot bath, and the color of the water will come a certain color,
Right.
kind of telling you what's going
Actually
on in
exiting
your
your body.
body, you know.
Right.
So if you're having kidney problems, the color of the water will come a little like yellowish.
Hmm.
So it was pretty. Unfortunately, I was not working at Cove Wellness at that time when the
Got it.
business had that, but I do remember it. It was a pretty. That's kind of like it all started too. You know, combination like I mentioned of treatments that kind of work in as a group, right?
And so you're servicing obviously all the locals that have been coming to Cove Wellness in the heart of the village for years and years and years. But you mentioned that you also have tourists that are coming into town
Yes.
and looking you up.
Yes.
So is that a big part of your business?
Yes, absolutely. Since we're in the heart of La Jolla,
Yeah.
as you know, there's a bunch of hotels, right?
Right.
There's La Valencia, there's the
Colonial.
Orly Hotel,
Yep.
in by the sea,
Yep.
you know, and a lot of people look us up through Google, you know, or they're looking massage, you know, near me,
Yeah, they're on
lymphatic,
vacation and they want to do something
and a
nice.
lot of things that we do at Cove Wellness are not in other states, are not very popular. So I have people like coming from South Carolina, you know, and
Yeah.
they're like, what is this?
Right.
Yeah, you know, like, what
Yeah.
is the lymphatic system? Colonics? I never heard about it, you know? And it actually makes me very happy, you know, because it makes me see that what we do there is unique.
You're really touching people and
You're
educating
and
people.
educating people and seeing ways that we can help them improve their health,
Right.
so they can be a little bit more proactive, you know, in their health, you know, because sometimes people don't see issues coming before it's too late, you know. So this therapies, the body already like knows how to detox itself,
Mm-hmm.
but what we do at Cove Wellness is with like that extra push,
Right.
you know.
And are you finding, I mean, I guess just in general, there's so many toxins in
Yes.
the world that we're exposed to,
Correct.
right? And there's probably more toxins now than there was 50 years ago, in
Correct.
some way, I would imagine. And so you're helping the body get rid of that and
Yes.
push it out. And so what age would you recommend like people to start coming in for treatments? Or would you,
I would recommend, I mean, I'm 29
okay.
and I have already
Hey,
started.
same age as me. That's perfect.
And I already started,
Got it.
you know. I just saw how beneficial it is, you
Yeah.
know, how good it is for you. I mean, everybody wants to age nicely,
Right,
right? Like,
right.
I don't want to be ill at a certain age. I want to be able to enjoy my grandkids, you know.
Right.
So I want to enjoy life. This is like a way to tell people, hey, take care of yourself so
Right.
you can
Be there in the
be
future.
there in the future and enjoy
Right.
the years that are to come, you know. So there's no age to
Okay.
honestly. I mean, I have my clients are usually from 30 to up,
Makes
you know.
sense. Okay.
People that are more aware of their bodies, you know. When you're young, you exercise a lot, you know, you do a lot of different things, you know. You're just young, you don't
Yeah, and
really
you bounce
think about
back.
you don't really think about all this
Yeah.
stuff, you know. When you hit the 30s, you know, you're like, okay, I have to do something about this, you know. And but like, I welcome anyone. I had 23-year-olds come and get lymphatic drainage that are very proactive about their health, you know. They work out a lot. They don't need as consistency as like other clients would need. So I have clients, for example, that had cancer, you know.
Okay.
And they have when they got surgery, some of their lymphs are not there anymore. So because
see.
of the surgery, so they swallow a lot. They had a lot of inflammation, pain, you know. So they have to come more consistently. So I
What
feel
other services do you offer besides the ones that we've discussed already?
we do facials as well.
You do facials?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
We do facials. We do lymphatic cupping in the face.
Okay.
So, for example, people that are having an event or are getting married, you know, they come like 2 days prior, you know, to kind of treat all that puffiness and kind of like sculpt the face. And we also add the other parts of the facial, which is cleansing, using masks, LED light for wrinkles, for fine lines. So
Got it.
it really helps improve the texture of the skin. It hydrates the skin, and it gets your lymph flow, because we have
Going.
lymph nodes in the face and the neck.
Right.
So we have over 400 lymph nodes around our whole
Wow.
body. Yeah.
Wow.
We have between every person is different, but there's between 400 to 800 lymph nodes in the body.
So part of it, are you doing massage?
We do
during some of this?
massage. We do customized massage. We call
Okay.
it customized therapeutic massage.
Okay.
Because, like I mentioned, everybody's different. So when clients come and they want to do dip tissue, they want to do trigger point therapy, because they're having a lot of pain. They want to do hot stones. So we do have a variety of services
Okay.
to offer. We also offer reflexology, which is basically we treat the trigger points in the feet, which is one of my favorites. It's very relaxing.
Tell me more about that.
So basically, with reflexology, it kind of helps work out the nervous points in the feet, because the feet have a lot of nerves.
Okay.
So it helps kind of people, for example, that are standing all day or are moving around all day. It really, really takes them to another dimension. And it also helps kind of relax the nervous system. So it is very beneficial.
So if you're hitting certain trigger points in the feet, it can benefit like certain organs?
Correct. It can benefit your organs. It can benefit your liver, your kidneys. It's just all connected.
Huh.
It's all connected.
Wow. I would imagine most people don't know all this and
No,
don't
they
think
don't.
about it.
They just book it sometimes because they've been recommended to do it.
Right.
You
Someone
know,
else did it.
somebody else did it and they say, "Oh wow, this like really helped me." I had people that are constipated and they will do reflexology and they will have bowel movements like
Wow.
the next day.
Incredible.
And it's very impressive. And I mean, I feel like you also have to get a good therapist, that knows a lot about the anatomy of the body, so they can explain and see how things work and connect. But yeah, it's a very cool treatment.
How many different therapists do you have at
We
Cove
are
Wellness?
a small staff.
Okay.
It's I honestly like it that way. We're all a very good, solid team.
Okay.
In total, I have 2 colon therapists
Okay.
and 2 massage therapists.
Great.
And I'm very blessed. One of my colon therapists, she has over 40 years of experience. So she wrote the first book about the first professional book about colon hydrotherapy.
Wow.
So
Oh, you got her on the team.
yes,
That's
I
awesome.
know. It's kind of like an angel fell from the sky for me for the business. It was like,
Great.
that was awesome. Like, she's very knowledgeable, and I feel like that's why people appreciate that a lot, because they don't know a lot of things. She shares information about diets, nutritional advice, how to
So a
maintain.
lot of education.
There's a lot of education,
that goes on.
and I think that's what made Cove Wellness so successful.
Well, obviously, it's been very successful. It's been in the village for 30 years,
And
like you said. So
yeah.
what an exciting thing to be able to own that business that's been around for decades and now carry it on into the future.
I know.
So how do people find you online? How would people look you up online?
So our website is www.covewellness.com.
Perfect.
But you can just put Cove Wellness on Google and we'll
you'll
be
find
right
it.
there. We also have Instagram, which is at Cove Wellness.
Okay.
And then like they can also call me. I have my phone number right there if they have
Perfect.
questions or they want to learn a little bit more about their services. I can share my number in this video as well.
Yes, well, we'll post all that. Well, thank you, Gabby. It was very educational. I learned a lot. I'm going to have to come in and see you.
Yes, you
Maybe
definitely
you can
have.
make me better.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Discover La Jolla.